Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. Before we get started on this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to all you guys. I just got an email from YouTube mentioning that my channel has recently just went over 5 million views. It blows my mind that was even a thing, to be honest. I never even looked at that. So to get that email and see just how many views that the channel has gotten throughout the years is pretty insane. So huge shout out to you guys for watching my videos, supporting me. It means more than you know, just watching the videos and commenting and creating this community that we have created over the years. It's really, really special to me and I really do appreciate it. So 5 million views are pretty insane and I really do appreciate the support. So me being a car enthusiast and doing something that I'm sure most of you guys do as well, and what that is constantly looking for cars. We're always looking at cars for sale, looking at different brands, different models, different everything, always just checking out the market and kind of just wishing and dreaming. It's something that I do on the daily. It's just something I do for fun that I do when I'm just kind of hanging out and have some downtime. And then I recently got thinking, there's a lot of cars out there that I'm always wanting to try, but there's something really, really important that I always keep in mind when I'm looking. And that one important thing that I always consider when looking for a new car or just any car in general is the aftermarket support. So as we're going over the points as to why I think aftermarket support is so important in a car ownership, I'm going to go around and clean up the wheels. I went for a few drives. The wheels are pretty dirty just from brake dust and everything, you kind of see. So what I want to do is just clean them up. The rest of the car is fairly clean and I want to drive it tomorrow. And I just want to make sure the wheels are looking good since right now they're kind of dirty and gross. They are ceramic coated, so they clean up very nicely and easily just by using some drying aid and a microfiber towel, and everything looks good. So we're going to go around the car, clean those up as I'm discussing the top 3 reasons as to why I think aftermarket support is so important with any car that you buy. All right, so aftermarket support to me is incredibly important. And a big reason for that is because I like a car that has been around a while and, aftermarket companies have done their research and, all the R&D and testing to create fixes for, the problematic areas. With this car in general, the EJ is we all know it's a pretty, finicky motor once you start adding some power to it and everything. And it's very, very easy for these cars to have things go wrong pretty quickly. And this motor has been around since, early 2000s. And since then, aftermarket companies have come out with some incredible products, incredible products to be able to bulletproof this motor. Literally completely new motors, new blocks, new everything, all different types of internals. And to me, that's very, very important. Having the aftermarket support to be able to, rectify those issues is something that I think a lot of people should make sure is available when you're looking for a car. Everybody is always looking to upgrade. Everybody's always looking to make them faster, better looking, and what have you. And having that ability to fix those Achilles heels always makes me feel better about purchasing the car. Like for another example, the E46 M3, which I own, the S54 motor, the Vanos, that was a massive, massive deal, still is. But since then, aftermarket companies have come out with bulletproof options to make the Vanos, not a problem anymore. Another issue with the E46 M3 was subframe issues. There was issues that it would literally crack and your entire rear subframe could just possibly fall out while you're driving, which is scary, scary stuff. But again, aftermarket companies, they all got together and people made reinforcement plates that you can weld in and make the rear subframe even stronger than ever and make that issue never a problem. So that kind of stuff is something that I always look for when I'm looking for a new car, making sure that support is there. Because any type of performance-oriented car, there's always issues, there's always problems. Another M3, for example, well, a couple other M3s, the E90 had rod bearing issues. There's some better aftermarket options for rod bearings and everything that you can use that you'll never have to deal with it again. The F80 M3, the crank hub and all that, there's aftermarket crank hubs that they have come out with to make them even better. So having those aftermarket solution fixes is so important because Everybody just wants to drive. Everybody wants to enjoy their cars. And those Achilles heels that every single sports car has, you know, you're going to have to deal with it one way or another. And most people aren't going to want to put the stock and same part back into the car because it's just going to happen again. So having that availability of aftermarket support to sort out those Achilles heels, those problem areas, is super important. All right, so the second reason why I think aftermarket support is so important with any car that you have is the ability to make it your own. Now, we all know STIs, WRXs, these cars in general are very, very, very popular. A lot of people buy them simply because they're a pretty reasonable and affordable car for most people. So you'll see people driving these cars that are 18 years old all the way up until 85 years old or even older. This car appeals to a huge gap, a huge age gap. It's not just one type of age group or people. Everybody loves the WRX and STI. So having the aftermarket support to make it your own, a very, very important part about an ownership in a car for me. I want to make sure that, I'm a little bit different. I want to make sure that the car that I am creating and have a vision for and I'm building in the garage myself, I want to make sure it stands out from the rest. I don't want to be like everybody else. I really don't care what other people think, but I enjoy making my own car the way that I want it. I don't think there's a single car out there that doesn't need some attention from the aftermarket world. Even Porsche GT3s, they're fantastic, but they still need a little love and care from the aftermarket world. I do think they need a better sounding exhaust. I do think they need to be a little bit lower. A couple other things here and there that I feel every single car needs some attention. So having the ability and having the aftermarket support be able to give you those options to make it your own is only going to make your experience and your ownership that much better. I love the fact that nobody in the world has this exact car. I mean, yes, obviously they do, but has every single nut and bolt that I did, has every single, an exact replica of this car. Nobody in the world has it. Some people may try to replicate it. I know a lot of people, these videos and stuff and kind of what I've created here on the channel and this car in general. A lot of people have taken some ideas from this car and put it on their own, which obviously is 100% totally fine. There's nothing against that. But being able to mimic this exact car with every single thing that I've done is pretty hard to do. And vice versa for anybody else. It's not just this car in general. Being able to replicate, any car to the T exactly is always different. It's always hard. So having that ability to create your own vision and express yourself through your car and your aftermarket mods is something that I definitely take pretty seriously. And something that really makes my ownership that much better. So the aftermarket support, being able to support us car enthusiasts to make your car your own is a huge part of ownerships for me and just cars in general. And the third and final reason why I think aftermarket support is so important in your ownership, or at least in my ownership, is the escape. Life is crazy. Life is insane. Things can get pretty busy, pretty stressful in a blink of an eye. And for me, having the escape to come out here, put on a few mods or a mod or whatever it may be, whether it's something big like an exhaust or wheels, or something minor like the STI badges here, for me it's an escape. It's a way for me to kind of get away from the everyday life, the everyday stresses, just come out here and just not think and just be around something that I enjoy so much. And for me, aftermarket support, aftermarket mods is that escape. Having the ability to come out here during the weekday or even the weekend or what have you, whenever I have time, and just spend time with the car is such a good therapeutic release for me. Even, just coming out here and washing the car, just having that escape is so important. Now, I understand cars in general aren't for everybody, but I do encourage everybody to find your escape, to find that way to kind of get away from real life for a little bit. It doesn't have to be an entire day or 9 hours. It can be for 10 minutes. And sometimes that's all I need. Sometimes I'm just so stressed out and so many things going on that coming out here for 10, 15, 20 minutes just to look at the car just hang out in here and be around the car, it just completely takes all those stresses and all those things that I'm always worried about or it's on my mind. It completely takes that away. And I'm very, very thankful that I've found that escape and I found that outlet for me, because not everybody has the ability or knows what their escape is. But the aftermarket support and modifications and being able to create a vision that I have in my mind from day one, even before I had this car, this, what you see right here, is the vision that I've always had for the last nearly 6 years. And coming out here and just enjoying the car and, you know, filming for you guys and creating how-tos and reviews and all that stuff, it's just such a nice escape just to get away from the real world and all the stresses and all that stuff. And to me, the aftermarket support and the aftermarket world does that for me. So I'm sure most of you can relate to that. It's such a good feeling after you install something new. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be small as something like that are like 20 bucks. There's still that sense of satisfaction that you've done something, that you've changed kind of the look of your car or what have you. And it makes you feel good. It makes you feel that much better. So for me, having that escape to come out into the garage and to modify the car the way that I want it and kind of leave options completely endless and be able to do pretty much anything you want to do on this car, since the support is so huge, is such a good feeling, and one of the reasons why I love this car so much. So this is a video that I have been meaning to do for quite a while, and I finally had some downtime to get it done. And you know, even though it's very short and sweet and kind of to the point, I do think it's important. I do think it's something that you guys need to take into consideration when buying a car. It doesn't just have to be an STI or WRX. I understand most of my channel and people that watch these videos, you know, own a WRX or STI, but there are definitely some other people that own different brands out there that, you know, I love your guys' support, because it's always cool to see other brands appreciating another brand. It's, you know, those kind of subscribers are always my favorite. But just in general, it doesn't matter if it's WRX or STI or Subaru in general. It can be any car. So I encourage anybody to take those 3 things that I mentioned and apply it to any car. It doesn't just have to be this one. I know if I bought this car and it didn't have that aftermarket support, that didn't fulfill those 3 bullet points, I probably wouldn't have this car today. To be honest, you know, I would have gotten it, enjoyed it for a little bit, and then moved on. I know there's some cars out there that I have considered in the past that just, they don't have the aftermarket support that I need for my ownership. And I've just completely passed on them because of that reason alone. Aftermarket to me is a huge part of the ownership overall. And I know most of you, it's very, very important for you as well. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. And for example, I still need to install the Verus Engineering lower control arm covers over there. They have been sitting there for about a month and a half, almost 2 months now, I think, for quite a while. And I'm really, really looking forward to installing them. I simply just haven't had the time to get it done. Soon though, I definitely will make a video on that, but I'm so looking forward to it. You know, it's just something that I enjoy so much. You know, just getting onto the car, spending time with it, putting something new on that I'm not going to even see it. It's literally under the car. It does absolutely nothing pretty much for what I use this car for. But it still excites me. It still makes me, you know, motivated and inspired. It's simply just going to make me feel better knowing I'm putting something new on the car that's going to make me feel good, make me feel like the car is that much better than it was yesterday. Also, another thing to keep in mind as well, social media, YouTube, just the internet in general, it has this funny way of making you feel like you're not doing enough. And I'm sure a lot of you have come to this video or watched my videos and see this car and then look at yours and they're like, oh man, you know, my car sucks. It's stupid. I want it to be like that or this. And you know, that's a terrible way to think. I get it. I've been there before. I've looked up to other builds and, you know, wished and hoped that I was in a position to be able to do that. And what I've realized is that, you know, you need to separate yourself. You need to realize, you know, build your own car, focus on your own vision. And just because somebody else does it doesn't mean you have to do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it to get accepted or for you to get noticed or anything like that. I have this thought that people don't feel like they can be established or get noticed in the social media world until they do certain mods. Or there's so many people that have come to me saying like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I'm not going to start it yet because I don't have, my car's pretty much stock. Like that is one of the most cringy and painful things to hear, being a creator and doing what I do here. Because all I say is just do it. Pick up a camera, create, do what you want to do. Who cares what other people think? You don't need certain mods to be accepted or make certain videos and stuff like that. Just do it. Who cares what other people think? And as long as you have that mindset, and as long as you focus on yourself and don't worry about others, you'll enjoy your ownership that much more. And the only reason why I'm mentioning that is because I know people that get super excited about installing something so simple like the turn signals here, or some caps or something like that, or some simple titanium hardware, or anything super simple like that. It doesn't take much to make you happy. Just do the small things, enjoy it, take it in. Don't feel pressured to do anything. Just because you're seeing all this stuff on my car doesn't mean you have to do it to be happy or to feel a certain way. So I got a little deep on that last part, but I wanted to mention it because so many people come to me and tell me certain things that they need to do in order to get noticed or have an account or make videos or anything like that. And I just want to encourage people to do what they want to do. For God's sakes, I'm using an iPhone to record these videos. Everybody is always shocked when I tell them that. They always think that I have all this gear and equipment and stuff, and they're always surprised to hear I just use an iPhone. That's it. I literally use an iPhone to film. I use an iPhone to edit everything. And most of my pictures that you see on my Instagram are from my iPhone. And I've gone over this before, and that's just purely out of convenience for my lifestyle and what I do, just in everyday life. And I have my phone on me at all times, and it just allows me to create as much as possible in my free time, whether it's 10 minutes or 10 hours. It's just always on me. So I encourage people just to pick up your phone, do whatever it is that you want to do, take pictures, make videos, and just have fun with it. So that is it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Take those top 3 bullet points that I mentioned and apply that to any car. And if you do that, I assure you, you will have a much better ownership and you'll enjoy your car that much more. But that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions at all, ask them in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.